Hello, and welcome back to Real Talk, divorce, life, and everything in between. And I'm your host, Lorene Roberts. I'm a holistic counsellor, root cause therapist, and a woman who's been through the fire and come out stronger on the other side. And every week we dive deep into the real stuff, the things no one warned you about when your marriage ends, and what is really takes to rebuild it. No fluff, no filter, just the truth. And joining me again today is my co-host, Richard Morden, fellow survivor from toxic relationships and someone who knows exactly what it's like to lose yourself in the chaos and claw your way back to clarity. So if you've ever felt that you're losing your mind, constantly apologizing, or stuck in a loop of maybe it's me, then you're not crazy and you're not alone. Narcissistic abuse is insidious and it's designed to wear you down piece by piece. Gaslighting, blame shifting, love bombing, silent treatments. These are just the bad behavior and they're calculated tools to manipulate you. So we're going to break it all down, the subtle tactics, the red flags you missed, and why they were meant to confuse you. And we'll also talk about how to spot these patterns so that you can stop blaming yourself and start taking your own power back. So Richard, let's start with the basics. Why don't we see it when it's happening to us?
Narcissists are so powerful in the initial stage we call love bombing. They're so intense in their emotions, and the control it doesn't really gain control. They don't come in screaming and kicking. They come in with this flowery energy. Their smiles, their eyes light up, and they seem so intent in the conversation. Every question they ask, they're looking at you. And for some people, we've never had someone pay that much attention to us. And I've seen these, watching somebody do it to another person, witnessing it firsthand. It's magical to watch because the person, they look like you're the most interesting person in the world to them. And they're just drawing things out. Oh my goodness.
The flattery is just incredible and they just seem so perfect. You feel like you've absolutely attracted somebody who's just incredible. They're attentive, it's all exciting, and it's almost too good to be true. And that's not accidental. It's part of the strategy that they use, and it is love bombing, and it's the first trap.
And the goal is to hook you emotionally, and they do. They mirror your values, your dreams, even your language. They create a fake sense of soulmate and connection, and once you're emotionally invested, that's when the mask starts to slip.
It definitely does. So let's start with how it all begins, because it's not with abuse, but it is with obsession, not with neglect, but with attention, and it's overloaded attention. It's called love bombing, and it's the most seductive and dangerous phase of a narcissistic relationship. It's when they hook you.
Again, this is in the first stage. They come on so strong, constant texts, deep eye contact, intense compliments, whirlwind dates, early declarations of love. It's intoxicating. You feel seen, chosen, even rescued, right? And so for some people, it's the first time anyone's given them this much. So of course, our defenses are down.
Yeah. And here's the catch. While you think you're falling for them, they're studying you. Every story you share, every wound you reveal, every dream you whisper in vulnerability, it's being filed away so they can use it later. And you don't realize it. You think that they're just being interested in you.
Exactly. It's like they're downloading this emotional blue. What makes you tick? What makes you feel insecure? Who hurt you? What are you scared of? What do you crave most? They use that information later as weapons, and like a court statement. Everything you do and say will and can be used against you.
Yeah. So you might open up and say something like, my ex never listened to me. And they'll respond with, well, I'm not like that. You can tell me anything. And you believe that you really can because it's all safe with them. And suddenly you feel really, really safe. But what's happening later? It's really interesting.
Once they've, what I call, filled your cup,
yeah,
the emotional cup, and filled you with everything, and you're bathing in this incredible dreamlike state, then the mask begins to slip. They'll say, You're impossible, please. Even your ex couldn't stand you. See what they did there? They took what they gave you in trust and flipped it into a control.
Yeah. So it works because love bombing feels amazing. You think you finally found someone who really gets you, who understands you and who loves you. And your nervous system relaxes. Your walls come down, so you share even more. And in that open-hearted state, you really bond with them.
And that's exactly what they want. The faster the bond, the harder it is for you to leave once the manipulation starts.
Yeah, it's not love. It's actually a setup.
And again, let's be clear, not every whirlwind romance is toxic, but when someone comes in fast and hard and intense and ignores your pace, your comfort level, or your boundaries, take note, because healthy love doesn't need to rush. These people push hard on you and you don't even realize it's happening.
Oh, yeah, you're totally under their spell. So let's break it down. What are the main tactics that they use, one by one? Because everybody having knowledge is going to be power, so they're going to know what's happening.
First one we call is gaslighting. It's a big one. Gaslighting is when they deny your reality to make you question your sanity. You'll hear things like, that never happened. You're too sensitive, and you're always overreact. And again, pay attention to the voice tone, how strong they are.
They twist facts. They rewrite history, and slowly you stop trusting your own memory, your gut, and even the logic that you've got within you. You just don't really know what's happening.
Two is a triangulation. Triangulation is when they involve a third party to manipulate it, usually by comparison, like, my ex never did that. Everyone thinks you're being ridiculous. Suddenly, you're not just fighting with them; you're defending yourself against invisible critics.
Oh yeah, they're really good at that, aren't they? Yeah, you suddenly hear things. Other people think this about you, and you go, "Oh, do they? I didn't know that." And they blame other people for things that are happening. So tell me about the silent treatment, because that's another good one.
Again, the control but withholding. They go cold, withdraw affection, or even ignore you until you chase them and apologize, even if they were in the wrong. So again, the silent treatment can go on for hours, sometimes days. And eventually you break down because it's so different than what you've been used to in this early relationship.
Yeah, the silent treatment is just denying you things. So if you like to be kissed, they'll stop kissing you and say, no, this is ridiculous. They might also withhold sex from a relationship as well. And it's designed to make you feel anxious, insecure, and desperate for their approval again. It's not a timeout. It really is punishment to you.
Next one is blame shifting. Everything becomes your fault. They cheat, it's because you weren't affectionate enough. They yell, it's because you made them angry. So pay attention to the emphasis on the word you.
Yeah, it's exhausting. And over time, you start to believe it. You carry the guilt for their behavior and believe it's all about you. And you actually do question yourself and think, I wonder if I did cause that. This must be my fault, when it never wasn't in the first place. So tell me about future faking. That's another good one.
Well, they'll dangle promises of a perfect future to keep you stuck. Marriage, babies, house, holidays, all the things you dream of, dangling in front, the magical carrot, the white picket fence.
Oh yeah, but none of it will materialize. It's just enough to hope and keep you from walking away. And every time you try to leave, they pull out the one day card. It's going to happen. And you believe that it will because they keep promising it. It's going to happen. So why do these tactics work? Now that we know what the tactics are, let's get into how they work, because they absolutely do, even on smart, independent people.
And key on the word smart. Many of these people are like yourselves, are well-educated, well-schooled, good business people. But again, we came in with this person comes in, and it's because they target your nervous system. Narcissistic control creates a trauma bond, a cycle of tension, reward, punishment, and relief. It's like an emotional roller coaster that becomes addictive.
It's the same chemical loop as gambling or addiction.
And again, that's why people say it's so hard to leave, not because they're weak, because they're neurologically hijacked. They cannot even shut off their phone. They can't block these people. They're so paralyzed, waiting for the next thing to happen, or maybe it's going to be better.
Yeah, so let's look at what this looks like in real life. So if you're wondering whether this applies to you, here's what life looks like with a narcissistic dynamic attached to it. You walk on eggshells constantly, too scared to speak up. You rehearse what you're going to say before you speak, because you make sure that you don't get it wrong, and you feel like you're too sensitive, or you're always wrong, and you second guess your memory and the choices that you make, and you isolate yourself from friends and family. And often that's because you don't want the backlash of being with your friends and family, and you feel like you've lost yourself. You've got no idea who you are.
And the kicker is you probably feel like it's your fault, because that's the power of these tactics. They make you think you're the problem.
Can you believe that? Absolutely. So let's talk about breaking the spell. How do you break free, Richard? How do you do it? Yeah, you certainly do have to name it. You have to recognize it. When you can name the behavior, gaslighting, triangulation, love bombing, they lose their grip. They can't keep using these things against you.
The big thing is get some support, calm your nervous system with some sort of techniques or whatever, and therapy, support group. But again, when you listen to other people who realize going through the same thing, you realize, oh my God, I'm not in this alone.
Yeah, and you have to choose yourself. You have to make yourself the center of it, getting over this. So if this episode stirred you up and stirred you to think, oh, this could be me, trust it. That's your inner voice waking up. Narcissistic control is really real. And the moment you start recognizing the tactics, you start taking your power back.
Number one, you're not crazy. You're not too sensitive. You're someone who's been hijacked and manipulated, and now you're trying to reclaim your truth.
And that's where freedom begins. So thank you, and good luck, and seek some help if you're going through narcissism.